All right. Genshin Impact. So I've been seeing so many videos about people getting bent out of Genshin and why they don't want to play the game anymore, why they feel bent out, why they don't like have the love for the game anymore. And you know what? I was thinking about making a video myself about it. I am not personally bent out of Genshin Impact, but I wanted to make a video about different, I wanted to make a video basically stating each player type and how each player type gets hooked into Genshin Impact at the beginning of the game and then gets burnt out the more they play the game, right? But you know what? I was thinking I could do that, or I could just react to somebody else's video that literally is talking about that and give my input on it, just like any other good YouTube creator does, right? So this is what we're gonna do, right? What we're gonna do is I will hold on, that's the wrong scene. What are you doing, man? There we go. I'm gonna react to Heido's video, which was recommended to me by the YouTube algorithm, saying why you're bent out of Genshin Impact, and have a look at his points. Now, I haven't seen this video. This is first time reacting to it, right? I will go through it and I will commentate over what he's saying, whether I agree or disagree, but I will also kind of discuss my points and why I believe players are burnt out. So it's kind of like a mix and match between his video and also me making my statements and my assumptions and discoveries whilst I played the game. Okay.
October 23rd, 2020. Back when I only had like 2,000 hours in Souls-likes, I remember seeing the advertisements.
Damn, bro,
for this new
Giga Chad.
game. Mona and
Genshin
Jen
Impact
would spam my YouTube feed relentlessly, and out of sheer spite, I decided to download this silly little anime game. I remember when I first entered the game world, walking along this beach, while the annoying little fairy creature would explain the game's first quest.
The nostalgia. Okay, so I started playing the same time. Wait, did he say 2020 or 20? When did he start playing? 2020. He started playing at the exact same time I did. I started playing in October. 2 weeks after the game dropped. Now, the reason why I started playing personally is because my friend told me it was kind of like an MMO anime game. It was basically what I thought Brood Protocol to be now. So I started it thinking that it was like a cool anime game with cool combat that I could just play with my friends, and that did not end up being the case. However, I am still playing it 3 years later, so something went right?
Fairy creature would explain the game's first quest. One of the very first prompts that appeared on my screen was to input my birthday, because maybe when that day came, I would get a little something special. I remember audibly chuckling at that because my birthday would be in March, and there's no way that I would
Yo, who put their real birthdays?
For even more than a month.
Yo, question time. Who put their birthdays? Hold up. Who put their birthdays as the day after the game, after you started the game, to see what you would get as opposed to your real birthday? I want to know down in the comments below.
Oh my god.
He actually did it, man. I put my real birthday down. I didn't put like no wacky birthday. I actually put my real one down. But that's mainly because I just didn't really care about the rewards. Oh wow. Wait a second. Hey, that's fake. There ain't no way you play this game and you're touching grass. That's fake. That's Photoshop, that's edited. ChatGPT made that video for him. So basically, trust me guys, adventure rank 60, me too. Trust me, I touch a lot of grass. Not only in game.
In this video, there's a good chance that you fit on either one of these three categories. You're either burned out on Genshin, you think that burning out on Genshin is a possibility, or you're one of my 5 alt accounts that I use to boost my views. Either way, I'm willing to assume that you've had your time with Genshin, and it was a good time. Where do I even begin with
Yes.
this? Dude, this game gave me some of the fondest gaming memories I have. I remember when I got my first 5-star ever, I had just finished the Monset quest and I was on my way to Liyue. And I was in this exact bridge when I tried pulling on one of the banners. I don't remember if it was Child or Clee, but I remember getting Kachink and I literally screamed from excitement. I put her in my party immediately and I tagged with her, and her moveset went so hard. I remember talking to some friends in college when I mentioned Genshin in passing, and we all realized in delightful surprise that we all played the game. From then on, we made a Discord server, and almost every week, almost every day, we would log into Genshin and play together. I was the most experienced of the bunch, so they would come to me asking what were the best artifacts for a character or advice for who they should pull for. And we just had such a blast playing it. That was the first time I had ever played together with friends on a Discord call, and that was back on the patch before the launch of Inazuma. I remember being on a call, sitting at this table in Mondstadt, me as Albedo and my other buddy as Venti, and we did a little summoning ritual for our third friend to get her first 5-star ever, Kazuha, and it worked. And then there was this time when we were on this island and I said I feel Ayaka vibes, and my Venti friend got her in the next pull. And I also remember like a time when it was
Just
like
get lucky
6
for
a.m.
her.
on Wednesday, and I was going to have classes at 7:30, and I woke up just to pull for Raiden during her debut. I had to contain my joy not to wake up my family, and I immediately posted on our group chat that I had gotten her, only to find out that my other friend had done the exact same thing and gotten her too.
Congrats, bro.
The Inazuma Arc Conquest, but Jesus Christ, when I saw that final cutscene, I achieved levels of hype, the likes of which I thought were only possible through the use of heavy narcotics. Those times, at the height of the pandemic, were some of the fondest gaming memories I've ever had. This game,
and that's a big factor, right? Because it was the pandemic, and you know these people still had classes. For me personally, I had literally nothing else to do. I was getting furlough, I was getting paid to sit at home and play video games, so I didn't really have to think about life. I didn't have to think about responsibilities. I didn't have to think about, oh, I gotta wake up for work, I gotta get ready for this, I got training, I got this, I got that, because I couldn't do any of that. I was hard stuck. And this is what made playing the game much more enjoyable, is because I didn't feel guilty wasting my time playing the game. I actually full on dove into it. I was enjoying it. I was in the world, and I could do that without having this like I'm wasting my time kind of vibe. Which, to be honest, I never do playing video games, right? But there is also things that like when you have a busy life, or you've got like a schedule, or you've got your family, there's always something else that you could be doing, right? So the best time for you to play video games is where you've completed all of your tasks and you could sit down and reward yourself, or just chill out and relax, right? And I feel like the pandemic done that for most of us, or for so many of us. Like it literally, it was a bad thing. It was a bad thing, but for gamers, that, pretty much done the same thing minus work, it was low-key a blessing, man. It was. It really was.
This game is beautiful. It's fun. It's exciting. It's repetitive. It's monotonous. What happened?
You played the game and you completed it. That's what happened. You played the game and you completed it. It's done. Just like with anything else, just like all of us human beings, we always want more instead of accepting things for what they are. And that's a problem. It really is. A lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know when to quit. Or they don't want to. They just want more. More of the same feeling of progression. More of the same feeling of
the footage that you're seeing right
excitement.
Now, I'm coming back from one of the many hiatuses I've had with this game. And what pisses me off specifically is that I always stop playing right before there's an event that involves one of my favorite characters. But this time, thankfully, I just got back in time to see two of my favorite characters, Eula and Kokomi.
But stopping the game... Stopping the game and not playing for a while is not a bad thing. I've done the same thing when the big map for Enka dropped, or the big remap for Enka dropped, and I didn't play that. It's fine.
Me when I see fish women. But every time I come back from one of these hiatuses, doesn't matter if there's a new nation, a new area, a cool new event, I always find myself having less and less patience to go through all the process that Genshin puts its players through. Where did all the magic go? What made it so that my response to accidentally triggering a cutscene is no longer Sucrose my beloved, but instead this? I thought about it for a little bit, and my...
That's not your fault. That's the game's fault for interrupting you.
First theory was the following. Remember that back on the first time I had a hiatus from Genshin, it was a little after the Shenhei's debut patch. That patch was from January 5th to maybe February 15th, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that I remember that the Chasm was about to come out and I couldn't give less of a fuck. At that point I was a bit burned out, but I couldn't really pinpoint the reason why. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Okay, but that was my reason. What about all the other people who burned out and aren't interested in Elden Ring? A few months back I saw a video that doesn't exactly answer that, but it illustrates my second theory very well. It was this video, and it showed 99 problems Genshin had for an entire year and how many of them were fixed. Out of the total
Interesting.
99 problems, 11 were fixed, 78
I got
were
99
left untouched,
problems.
and 9 were made worse. The math doesn't add up because the last problem were people not being subscribed to his channel. And of course not, they should be subscribed to mine. Watching that video made me realize and somewhat understand the reason behind this feeling of burnout that the game gave me. And the feeling that I have is that Hoyoverse doesn't care about its players, even if that isn't necessarily true. Over these past 2 years,
Damn, that's crazy.
a lot of players consistently complain about is the lack of endgame content, and that is true. The only piece of endgame content there is the Abyss. There's also the card game, but I'm not touching that shit with like a 10-foot pole. The last thing I need in my life is anime Gwent. The Abyss is nothing more than a ridiculous...
Just play Hearthstone. But, actually I say that. No, don't play Hearthstone. I actually would prefer people play TCG more than Hearthstone. The reason being is because Hearthstone is fucking pay to win, dog shit. I played that game for 2 years, man. I can't believe I wasted my time on it. It was fun though. It was fun going through the story of Hearthstone and using the decks that you had, or the decks you could create, to beat the story of Hearthstone. But playing PvP or playing ranked, dog shit, because you have to... You have a card meta, which is luck, and then you have the RNG of getting the cards, which is also luck and spending more money. It is basically card gacha, but CTG in Genshin is free. You get any card you want from completing it. The more you play, you could buy the cards out from playing them. So it's free to play Hearthstone, which is simpler as well. So I guess it'll be easier to understand for you.
An unfairly timed DPS check. My account is good. I have good characters, and they're quite well minimized.
Yes.
And I did spend a few dollars on this game, somewhere between 200 and too many. Yet for this entire time, I've
200 and too many. Same, I can relate.
Like 3 or 4 times. You might hear me say this and come to the conclusion that I have a skill issue, to which I say, why don't you come 1v1 me in a better game, pussy? No, it's not about skill. Look at this shit. I haven't even opened Genshin as of the recording of this part of the script, but I already know that there's going to be something stupid on floor 12. You can't hit the enemy for half the fucking time. You're forced to wait as they dig around or run away or activate some stupid iframe exactly when I'm about to use my Eula nuke. But that's just the Abyss, and frankly, it's only...
That's a skill issue, bro. I want to talk about Abyss after as well.
Part of the problem with Genshin. Let's say that you just began the game and you happen to pull Scaramouche on your first 10 pulls. Congratulations, I am not jealous. Let's see what you need to level him. Oh, this isn't good. To upgrade a character's skill past level 6, you need the weekly boss materials. Scaramouche needs materials from a boss that is all the way in Sumeru, the 4th nation you'll visit, and that's a minimum of 40 hours of gameplay away. And no, you can't just go there in the beginning of the game because that boss is locked behind a very long story quest that only unlocks after you've done everything related to the main quest in all the other 3 nations and in Sumeru.
That is actually such a good point. Damn, that is an amazing point. I didn't think about that because I'm always caught up with the story since the launch. I didn't realize that you cannot do the weekly bosses, or you cannot beeline to the weekly bosses like you can the world bosses when it comes to getting later characters that you encounter later during the story. That is a problem, actually. Holy crap.
Me and say, okay, but that's why beginner players should be pulling on the permanent banner since those characters are my brother.
No, shut up, bro. What the fuck are people talking about? Are you crazy? The permanent banner, you don't spend primo gems on the permanent banner ever. You can you get your free Noel. Maybe if you're really lucky, get the 5-star from the Noel banner. Do you know the 2 multis that you get? And then you only pull on the standard banner with the free summons that you get through, progress and adventure ranks and stuff like that. You want to summon on the premium banner always, or at least build up pity to summon on for the premium banner.
In Christ, Dia is on the permanent banner and she uses those same late game materials to level her skill.
Yeah, also Dia, if you get Dia, you're kind of fucked. Not only is she... Damn. Not only is she not that great when it comes to, power. Yeah, they fucked her kid up. She also uses that character.
Skills. If you go there...
What about Tainari? Tainari is an amazing character. He is powerful, but he's from Sumeru too.
With the hopes of getting Dilo Karkaching, you might get fucked by RNGesus after he gives you the fire cat girl instead. You'll be left stuck with her at a low level, having wasted a chance to get a character that could actually carry your team. And even if you're pulling on an event banner that has a...
You see, I agree and I disagree with this statement. Damn, bro, this fish crazy, bro. the main reason why I agree with the weekly bosses being a problem, because you're hard locking your progress. However, if you beeline through the main story quest, because you should technically go through the MSQ first and then explore and do side quests after. That's technically how I would recommend playing the game, and probably how I would play the game if I started in 2023. I would have probably just focus on the MSQ first and then focus on other stuff after. The MSQ, like you said, probably 40 hours of gameplay, 50 hours, whatever, right? It just depends whether you skip dialogue or not, which I would never recommend for an MSQ of a game. It will take you a while, but by that time, if you just go through the MSQ and, you know, do maybe some exploration, whatever, get your adventure ranks up, use your resin, obviously, I feel like you still would not be able to upgrade your character as much, or you won't need to upgrade your character as much by the time you hit that, by the time you hit Sumeru and finish the story, right? And even if you do, you could also use other free 4-star characters to carry you through the content that are also really powerful, like Zhang Ling. You know, like she just solo carries. If you want to go fisher, you could get the catch. Zhang Ling and the catch, disgusting, right? So when I first started playing the game, even though I got 5 stars, I didn't use any 5 stars pretty much until I've cleared Abyss. And I didn't 36-star Abyss, I just done it. And then after I done Abyss using only 4-star characters, that's when I started getting, I got Zhongli, I got Zhao, started upgrading them. My first ever character, I summoned on the clean banner, back when the game first launched. I got Mona. My first ever 5-star character was Mona, and she was the last 5-star character that I've upgraded. I just didn't care about upgrading that character. I just had so much fun with my fish, Zhang Ling, and Sucrose combo, which completely dumpstered. Oh, and I also built Noelle. That was my main team.
The character from the...
So, as much as I agree with his statement, I also have to disagree. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's a gacha game. You should not expect one character. If, for example, you get Scara, you should not be expecting one character to carry you through all of the content, even though that is possible. It is much more fun to have different characters and mix and match them.
Beginning of the game, like Hu Tao or Child, they still put all the characters from the permanent banner as a 50-50 chance on the event banners. So there is a chance that you go the event banner with the hopes of getting a good character, and RNG just fucks you again and gives you Dia. This progression system is not a problem just with the materials. A lot of the times the events involve characters that were most recently released, and if you haven't reached a certain point in the story yet, you can't participate in the event because it's locked behind several hours of story quests. And there's also the times where you can't start a quest.
Yes, events. The entry for events is a bit up and down for me. When you don't want to overwhelm people with too much stuff when they first start the game. I feel like they should first actually concentrate on exploring the game, and once they get closer to the end, to finishing exploring the game, then they could actually care about events and stuff like that. The problem is, again, is Genshin's fault for making the events somewhat important, or making some of the events somewhat important to the story or to the character development of specific characters, right? It's not the player's fault. Again, developers.
Because a certain character is busy doing something else. Oh, and if you can't begin or complete...
That is a... Oh my god, bro. Oh, that pisses me. Fuck, that pisses me fucking off, bro. I'm actually I'm getting triggered right now just thinking about it, bro. Why is it that you cannot just duplicate or make a character's model separate, or duplicate it and make it separate in each instance for each story? I know what memory problems. It's fucking not. Why do I have to? Like, it breaks my fucking immersion when I'm doing a quest and then that character is involved in another quest that I have to start and just pretty much beeline for it. That ruins both of the quests for me. Because right now I'm doing 2 quests at the same time. I cannot focus on one of them, right? I have to do this one. And then, oh, but this character's involved. Okay, I'm gonna do that one then until he's not involved. Now I don't know this story because I just skipped through it so I could enjoy the other one. And now I'm coming back to this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, there was one time where I got confused and I didn't even fucking know which is the MSQ and which is Tainari's fucking story quest. I didn't know. I didn't even know. Like, am I doing MSQ right now, or am I just doing Tighnari's quest because he's involved, because he's busy right now with his shit? What the fuck is that? That is so bad, and I wanted to address that. Thank God he said it.
Complete an event in time, you will miss out on lore and primogems and materials forever because they don't rerun. The system that they're doing for the banners and leveling and quest progression is just stupid. There's no other way to put it. I am not here to find a solution.
It's tough to balance though.
And don't even get me started on the weapon banner. Every single new weapon released is tailor-made for a specific character, and the problem with that is that a lot of the times for the other characters, they are about as good as a 4-star weapon, and at worst they're just completely useless. They have these long and hyper-specific descriptions that are made to work very carefully and deliberately with one character, and the rest get to enjoy the benefits if they're lucky, but that's not all. The weapon banner also has this stupid pity system that is better than nothing, but it's bad. It doesn't guarantee you shit unless you fail to get the weapon you wanted twice, and it doesn't translate between banners. This means that if you are being particularly unlucky, you will get the weapon of your choice after 240 pulls. And seeing how generous the game is with giving you the gacha currency, if you're a completely free-to-play player, pulling on the weapon banner is just a complete and utter waste of your resources. It's not like getting the weapon will make you complete the abyss, and even if you do, what are you going to do with the 600 primos that you get as a reward? I'll tell you,
never do it.
You're gonna get 2 debate clubs and a fucking Toma. Okay, sorry for the rant. All those things I mentioned are just...
If you're free to play, never summon on the weapon banner ever.
And it's not the end of the world.
Unless you've been playing for 10 years.
Not the reason why you and I might be feeling burned out. They are just annoying. The reason is most likely what I said a few minutes back. Genshin doesn't have diversified and dynamic endgame content. They will not make diversified and dynamic endgame content because they don't have to. As far as I know, Genshin only has one competitor, one other game that is a gacha Breath of the Wild clone with elemental magic and shit, and that game is Tower of Fantasy. There might be other games like it, but since I've never heard of them, they don't exist. And even if they do exist, they are not big enough to compete directly with Genshin. Tower of Fantasy isn't pulling numbers as big as Genshin is.
No, TOF was dying.
That Genshin has no reason to innovate. Their current formula works and it's already hugely successful, and trying something new and risky might break the careful and affluent balance that they have already established. And that's why you'll keep having the same quest format, the same combat, the same events over and over and over again. Because it's stable, because it works for them. I stopped a bit after the Shinhei debut and I came back on Yelan. Then I kept playing for a while, stopped and came back on the Archipelago rerun. And then kept playing until the Nilo banner. Me when I see Nino clones. I got her, saw that she only worked well with Denjo, and then I left the game again, only to come back on Naida's rerun. I got her, played for a little, and leveled her in Nilo. Then I stopped for a while.
That was so smart
to record this video. It's not that I missed the
so smart for you to come back for Nahi. Nahi's OP.
Way things were, because
an Archon doesn't make sense.
Jack shit has changed. But I missed the way that this game made me feel. I had tons of fun playing in single player and tons of fun playing in multiplayer, but now that feeling of magic and wonder, knowing that I could escape to this beautiful and colorful world, it's gone. I 100%ed most of the regions, but right now I can't even be bothered to open that chest right over there. I barely touched Sumeru, especially the desert, and to be perfectly honest, I haven't the slightest intention of doing so. And the likelihood is that I will no longer be playing this game by the time Fontaine comes out. I might try to log back to pull the Hydro Archon or this hot dude, but it pains me to see that my passion for this game is gone.
Why is that? The reason is, so why could he not be bothered to open this chest? That is the question, right? The question is, why can he not be bothered? And my answer is, why should he open this chest? Did you not hear what he just said? He 36 stars Abyss, right? He can clear Abyss. His AR 60. His exploration is 100%. Even with that chest being unopened, it is 100% on his map, right? And he doesn't need the 5 Primo Gems. He doesn't necessarily need the 5 Primo Gems that that chest gives him in order to summon for a character that on average you need... what is it like? If you're lucky, obviously like 16,000 primos or like 14,000 primos. But if you're unlucky and in worst case scenario, you need like 28k primo gems. So you need like 28k Primogems to guarantee yourself a 5-star character in this game. If you get really unlucky and you hit hard pity both of the times and you lose your 50-50, right? Worst case scenario I'm talking about, right? This doesn't give in, it doesn't give him any achievements. He's already 100% of the area. This chest is just like, is just there because it's there. And he doesn't like need the minuscule amount of primos that he gets for opening this, or materials, because he's already got his roster pretty much maxed out for the from the chest, right? So like, why? What's the point? There is no reason. He only does it if he wants to. He only does it if his OCD allows him to.
Okay, so while I was editing this video, I found out that there's going to be a Scaramouche rerun on this patch, so I might stick around just to try to get him, but after that, I promise it's over. Me when twinks with abandonment issues.
Okay, bro. Hey, that's a good video. That is an amazing video. Thank you for making this video so I could eat and talk about your points and whether I agree and disagree with some stuff. Okay. Now on to my bit, okay? Why do I feel like people are getting burnt out from Genshin Impact, okay? Now, what I was originally gonna do is literally do this, right? I was gonna just bring up player type archetypes, okay? I was gonna literally make this. This is so simple. This is so easy to understand, and it's just fast, easy, and snappy, right? There's 4 player types when it comes to just gaming in general. You've got the killers, achievers, socializers, and explorers, right? So, boom. Firstly, killers. When you first start the game, this game is amazing, right? You learn the combat, you get the normal attacks, you get the charge attacks, you get different weapon types weapon types that different characters use. You got your claymores, you got your bows. Each one plays different, right? You got your catalysts. Each one plays different. Then you got each character with an element. You realize that this element gets... These elements is like they mix. You can like use water, fire to vaporize. You can use for water and ice to freeze enemies. Okay, like explosions with electro and pyro. Right, like there is just so much stuff. Wind swells with anything that it touches, so it creates so much numbers. It's crazy, right? You turn into a literal state alchemist playing this game. It's like you don't know what to do. You have like physical ones as well. You got like just so much. You can do so much. Each character's got like different little unique passive abilities. If you're playing now, you got Scaramouche, you can fly, bro. So there is so much shit. There's so much stuff that you could do when it comes to combat, that learning it is fun. At the very beginning, it's fun, it's fresh. There is so much to do, right? So much to learn. Dendro comes out, and now you really need to learn your fucking alchemy, right? Because holy shit, you got your quicks, you got your hyper blooms, you've got your normal blooms, you've got your aggravates, you've got your freaking, like, you name it, bro. There's so much stuff, right? So when you first start a game, you slowly learn this, or it's slowly fed to you little by little, and you experiment and you find out what's best for you, and you know, you start mixing and matching your teams, your elements, characters, how they apply elements. A lot of stuff, right? I'm rambling on, but you get the point. There is so much stuff, and it's so fun because most importantly, the game is fluid, and it introduces the elements in such a nice, fluid way. It's so easy to understand, so easy to watch, and it's so rewarding. It's fulfilling to execute as well, right? So that's early game. That's how they hook you in. How do killers get burnt out in Genshin Impact? Simple. You max out your character. You learn the meta. You beat Abyss. And now you've got nothing left. You destroy everything. The world, the overworld, is like a playground, right? The overworld is a playground. It doesn't even matter. You can use one character, dumpster everything, right? You maxed out your character, you maxed out the levels, you got the best in slot weapon if you whale, if not you got like the best in slot 4-star weapon, you max your character out, you've got a specific team, a team that works really, really well, you've got a team that, for example, maybe you've got the Rider National team or the Hyper Bloom team, or you've got Kazuo National, just whatever, any team that you found out either on the internet or you found out yourself that is disgusting, you've already created it. You've got your artifacts maxed out, everything is up to top, your talents maxed out. You've got so much damage that you go to a world boss, you sneeze and he disappears, right? That's not really fun. Now, I understand that it's good to have that system if you want to replay, like if you've got to replay the same boss 20 times to get his materials, to level up your characters. You don't really want to do it for a long time, right? But the same could be said with Abyss, right? Like Overworld, yes, okay, you can have this, you can have the Overworld easy, even though in my opinion, there should be another world tier level to provide endgame players a challenge when they're exploring. But that's just me, right? You've got the Abyss. The Abyss, once you 36 star or once you have a really good team, can most of the time be done, right? Can most of the time be 36 starred, and you just jump on every 2 weeks and you clear Abyss and it's done, game over. Like, it is what it is. You don't, that's it. That's all killers have is Abyss. That's it. And maybe some events, like, don't, like, I take that back, like, there are some events, but they go away. They're not permanent as well. But there are some events that actually enable, like, killers and, like, people that are really into, like, meta or really into combat. But that's about it. And also, the most important thing about killers is this game is a gacha game. If somebody's got money, they fasten the progress of that burnout even more. What they do is they just spend money, or they just C6 a character, and that's it. And you don't even have to worry about upgrading their characters as much, right? You don't need to upgrade them as much because the constellations are so overpowered that you can literally just use one character to one character on each team to 36 star Abyss if you want. I've seen videos of people doing that. One man armies, or two man armies, I should say, just 36 star in Abyss because of how OP the constellations get. So yeah, it's all about not having anything to do after Abyss and not having the thrill of battle anymore after you upgrade your characters. That's for killers, right? For achievers, this one is nice and simple. When you first start the game, there is a lot of things to do. The more you play the game, the less there is to do, and the longer it takes for you to achieve stuff, eventually causing a burnout, or eventually even completing the game. There are some people that I've seen that have all of the achievements in the game, and after that, there is nothing. You just have to wait for the next patch. So it's not necessarily burnout. I think like what achievers do is they just wait for a new patch, and if they can be bothered, they just clear the new patch and then move on with their life. If not, it is what it is. You carry on, right? Socializers, it's like the more powerful you are at the game, the less incentivized you are to co-op. Even the events, like you can co-op in events, and that is the only instance where endgame players could co-op, unless they're making a video or they're just messing about in the overworld, right? But there is like, apart from that, there is no reason for you to socialize at endgame. At the very beginning, you get to play with other people because maybe you need help clearing a world, like a world boss, or maybe you wanna join the world to collect some materials that you need for your character and your world is not opened yet, right? Clearing world bosses together, I said that already. Helping people out with unlocking some chests, with challenges, etc., right? So that's the social aspect of the in-game social aspect, right? I'm not talking exterior like Twitter and stuff like that. The interior aspect is just hitting up people like, yo, can you help me with this? Or asking people questions when you first enter the game. In endgame, you know everything, you've cleared everything, you beat the game. That's it. You don't need anybody's help. There is no reason for you to socialize apart from just messing about. And even then, if you want to mess about or kill a world boss, it is much faster doing it with your own team than doing it with friends. Unless you're doing content. Explorers. Again, this one is nice and simple. Like when you first load the game, you've got so much to explore. And then eventually explore everything and you've got nothing to explore. You've completed it. And now you're waiting for the next patch to explore some more. It is simple, right? It is simple. This is basically the easiest way for me to explain burnout for each player type and each category and why people experience it. This is also why I believe taking your time is such an important thing when it comes to Genshin. Because the faster you get to the end game of Genshin, the faster you quit the game. I know it's crazy, right, guys? It's crazy how video games work. The faster you finish a game, the faster you quit the game. Holy shit. Also, the later you start playing Genshin Impact, the more you will have to do. Can you imagine that? Now, I know FOMO is a thing and you will miss out on a lot of important quests and a lot of really cool, like, rewards. But that's not our fault. That is the developer's fault for taking out the important quests or making them time limited. They should really bring them back or at least make them a DLC. That's what I've been saying and advocating for ages. Nonetheless, yeah. That's about all I can say about Genshin Impact. Now, I will probably try and make a new video giving my ideas on how they can make Genshin Impact better. I feel like that would be Pardon me. That would be a good one. But for now, I just wanted to talk about burnout and why I believe people are burnt out. It's really simple to put people in categories and literally think about each player's mentality and why they play the game. Because if you figure out why they're playing the game, then you'll figure out why they don't want to play the game anymore. Because they either achieved it or they got taken away. They got something taken away from them that they enjoyed, right? Anyway, that's about it from me. Great video from my boy. Please like and subscribe. When I've already subscribed to this guy. Show him some love, man. That was an amazing video. Really well thought out and much more well edited than I will ever be able to. So, yeah, that's about that. Love you all. Take care. Also, wait. Before I go, come on, man. You have to subscribe, bro. Come on. I'll be making my own original content soon. I promise. Okay. I know I'm a React Andy. I know I'm kind of React Andy right now, but I'll be making my original videos. So if you like more of these kind of discussions, please, like and subscribe and comment down below your ideas. What do you agree? What do you disagree with? Is there anything that I missed out on? Let me know. I'm always striving to be better. Okay. Love you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Love you all. Bye-bye.